The Post Office scandal, which politicians are finally appearing to take seriously.
Yeah, wonderful what a TV drama can do, isn't it? And today we are joined in the studio by The Sun's brilliant political columnist, Trevor Kavanagh. Welcome, Trevor, on yet another big news day. As I was just saying, what's interesting about this Post Office scandal, it's been rumbling on since 1999, literally a quarter of a century. Suddenly, last week, there's a TV drama about it on ITV, and the whole nation's furious. Many people just didn't... We knew about it in the journalistic fraternity, but many people didn't really notice this. And the extraordinary thing is 736 sub-postmasters and mistresses were prosecuted in this, what's been called the worst injustice in British history. Only 93 have been exonerated and pardoned. There is much more way to go, isn't there?
Well, I think so, and I think you're right. This has been like a volcano rumbling away. Every now and again there's a little explosion in the Mail, a little explosion in the Sun, on television and radio, each one making people who watch it or listen or read it feel absolutely furious. And suddenly this drama, the four-part drama, it's erupted into something monumental. And I think that this is the reason why the government is in a panic. I think that the Liberal Democrats must be in meltdown because Ed Davey, who totally anonymous until last week when it suddenly became clear that he was at fault for not doing something about this scandal. I mean, can he survive as leader of this party?
Yeah,
can he become our next Deputy Prime Minister?
That's outrageous of you, Trevor. You know what Sir Ed said. He said that he was misinformed. He was not given the proper information by the Post Office.
No.
And if you believe that, you'll believe anything. I mean, this guy is in trouble. The thing about the Lib Dems is they're not designed to get anywhere near power. That's the whole point of the Lib Dems. They must never get elected, and they succeed in that endeavour all the time. Suddenly, they're in power because of that ridiculous coalition between Cameron and Clegg. He's the Post Office Minister, and guess what? He stands accused of completely ballsing it up.
Yes, I think that any self-respecting minister, of course, when told by the Post Office and other government organisations, nothing to see here, well, obviously he's going to say, OK, fair enough. He's not going to ask any questions. Well, not if you're Ed Davey, you're not.
I think this has really captured the public's imagination because so much of this narrative is sort of emblematic of how people feel about society in general. You've got people who are running post offices, the good folk of Britain, that when they turn around and say there's a problem, civil servants are saying, oh, no, there's not. Politicians saying, well, the civil service have said there's not a problem. The big, Fujitsu, big business themselves are saying, oh, no, it can't be our technology. It must be down to you. And then these people were being forced to essentially sign confessions and saying, just admit you did it, admit you're guilty by lawyers. And it does feel a bit like a David versus Goliath.
Yes, and I think you hit the nail on the head just then about the fact that this is symptomatic of Britain today. And it's not just the Post Office, it's the Environment Agency and the flooding, it's the Public Health England and COVID, it's the Home Office and immigration, you name it. Every single quango and government department is failing and falling down on the job and letting us down at vast expense to the taxpayer.
Yeah, and talking of the way Britain works, Paula Vennells, who was the chief executive of the Post Office while all this was going on, either she was misinformed, she wasn't told what was really going on, or she stands accused of covering up this to protect the reputation of the Post Office, to let the sub-mistresses and masters take the blame to exonerate the Post Office. So she's got questions to answer. There's a petition now, more than 1 million people have signed, that she, and I would agree with this, should be stripped of her CBE. And furthermore, if she knew about this, that requires a police investigation. Guess what happened when she quit the Post Office? She was immediately embraced. The warm embrace of the establishment came rushing in. She was appointed to the Imperial College National NHS Trust. She was given directorships, sinecures by Morrison's Supermarket and another outfit, and she swiftly had to resign from them. But that's the way it works, isn't it? No mistake is enough for you. No failure is enough for you to succeed under the warm embrace of the British establishment. That's the way it works, isn't it?
Well, it is. And I mean, you raised the question of could she have possibly not known? It is impossible for someone in her position not to have been aware over a period of the several years that she was the head, she was the person with whom the buck stops.
Yeah.
And she failed to see it. She is a disgraced and shabby figure now, whatever happens to her. The CBE is almost irrelevant compared with what's happened to the people who have been the victims of this cover-up. It's basically it's a crime. I think the police should be in on it. I think that people should be in the dock very quickly, or in handcuffs at any rate.
Yeah, I mean, if she just gets stripped of her CBE, I think she'll be quite lucky. She certainly, in my view, warrants a police investigation.